Many are pointing out that missiles and airstrikes continue. If you watched my last video, you'll know I basically said, give it time. The Israel-Iran war essentially is over. A ceasefire has been agreed, but it will take time. Two nations don't just stop cold turkey. It takes a while. But Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi did indeed say that Iran will stop its missiles from firing into Israel if Israel also stops. Right? So the terms of the ceasefire mean a salty Israel may continue trying to hit Iran during the first 12 hours, but eventually I expect it will fizzle out because Trump has made it clear that the US is not interested in stepping into this war. So Israel has its hands tied. It cannot fight this war alone, and it can't fight this war with US support because the US have yeeted themselves out of the mix. As I've said, from June 13th onwards, when the first preemptive Israeli strikes occurred, well, actually, they're not preemptive, they are preemptive. Oh no, I guess they're not preemptive if Iran wasn't actually going to do anything. So that makes sense. Okay, as I've said, from June 13th, their primary goal, the Israeli primary war goal, is to bring the US in so that they can escalate further and get more from this conflict. And that failed. So expect this ceasefire to eventually hold. I'd give it 24 to 48 hours to stabilize. Don't stress in that time. Now, many have suggested that Israel's interceptor missiles will be restocked in this time and that Israel is just playing a game right now, and they will not honor the ceasefire. As soon as they are capable, they've restocked their interceptor missiles ready for Iranian barrages, they'll start doing airstrikes again. Well, let me tell you how geopolitics works here. In this regional dynamic, things are not so clear-cut as what I just described, what some people are fearing is going to happen. Israel cannot win this war, so it is all but forced to accept a ceasefire deal. Analytically, I agree that Israel does have a history of breaking ceasefire agreements, but I also highlight that this is only the case when they can afford to, when they fight a vastly inferior adversary. When they agree to a ceasefire with a weaker side, they have been known, Israel, to break their agreement. Iran, however, is not a weaker adversary. Israel breaking the ceasefire beyond the next 24 to 48 hours will simply invite more missile responses. And with Iran recently having announced and deployed their dreaded ghost missile, the Khaybar Shekan, the 5,000 meters per second top speed, basically teleporting ballistic missile that can dodge interceptors like a hypersonic missile. Yeah, Israel will not want more Amazon Persia deliveries of those 4-meter long nightmares, right? Also, yes, Israel's defense in times of peace will be restocked. You can expect Iron Dome interceptors to be shipped into the Israeli state to replenish what has been used up in these last 12 days. You will likely see all of the Western world, maybe America especially, leap into action to restock and resupply the Israeli state. Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow, Patriot missiles, the works, right? But remember, a lull in battle gives Iran time as well. Their massive state will work to rebuild their air defenses, redeploy those air defenses to specific places so they have, a cone of safety, secure the perimeter, and refit their missile launchers, right? Loads of missile launchers were apparently taken out. Israel at some point said we've taken out over 1/3 of all Iranian missile launchers, so they can have loads of missile stockpiles, but they can't fire them at us. Well, that didn't work because they continued firing, right? So if Israel decides to start things up again, Iran will be able to respond even more harshly because they'll have rolled out fresh missile launchers. And restarting is not the same for Israel this time around. Let me give you the strategic assessment. Israel used up some of their intelligence capability, the intelligence capacity. They had to use up some of their spies, some of their infiltration ability, some of their assassinations and sabotages were executed, and those bridges are burned. A lot of them are one-off, some of them are persistent, but if you actually want a big outcome, you have to sort of burn the bridge, use it up, right? And these will almost always, historically speaking, result in heightened security in the target nation. And we saw that Iran is on high alert, has been on high alert since the June 13th attacks that were preceded, as in before the actual attacks, there was sabotage, there was infiltration by Israeli intelligence agents embedded within Iran. Those are not going to be as easy to hide now, right? There's a level of paranoia even in Iran, and arrests of those feared to be spies have spiked. So Israel, if it comes back into the fight again, would have to go through loads of different hoops. They would have to jump through loads of hoops just to get the same result, and the result this time around wasn't good, even with the element of surprise, even with the possibility that the US would step in, even with all that, it wasn't very good for them. Their population will say, did your mother drop you on your head from the top of the Western Wall? What's going on? Why are you taking us back into this fight? Bro, do you see our cities? Do you see Tel Aviv? Do you see Haifa? Right? Do you see that power was out for half the country, the southern half of the country yesterday? Well, what? Do you not see our Iron Dome / Iron Sieve, and they failed to intercept 100% of the missiles, which means some of our buildings look like wet cardboard? No, this is terrible. This is a bad idea. That's the kind of sentiment you're seeing from the Israeli citizenry. Another hoop for Israel to jump through that will need to be jumped through if they want to come back into the fight. The element of surprise is gone, as I mentioned. Iran is on high alert. You're not going to be able to sabotage air defenses before sending your fighter jets in the same way, which means your fighter jets are now at risk. You might not want to take that risk with very expensive F-35 Israeli variant fighter jets. Another hoop to jump through, the diplomatic one. Even though Israel is already bankrupt on diplomatic currency, 2 years in Gaza and besieging a starving civilian population, withholding baby food, withholding formula milk, from withholding crutches from a civilian population will do that to you or mess up your diplomatic currency. It's still notably problematic diplomatically for the Israeli state to go back into Iran. Its allies will say, we just ended something here. Did we not just do something here, right? Why are you going back in? Iran already successfully framed itself as the victim in this conflict. You've lost me, right? Sit down. By and large, the international community didn't buy the Israeli narrative, the Israeli reason for attacking Iran now. So if Israel attacks again, citizens, even in Western nations, will be furious. It just will not fly, and Western support for Israel will diminish even further, and they can't afford that with an Iran that's locked and loaded, ready to defend again. They're ready for round two. If you think Israel's going to restock and be ready for round two, Iran will also restock and be ready for round two. In summary, Operation Rising Lion, analytically speaking, was a success, but not for Israel, right? It was a success for the Persian Lion, which has risen to the challenge, managed its responses, didn't take the escalation bait, didn't go on a complete mad one that drags the outside foreign powers in, the US being obviously chief among them. They held out against Israeli airstrikes and assassinations, stabilized control over their population so that it doesn't lead to government collapse. And now that population in Iran, 90 million strong, is galvanized in support of the Iranian state. They say, we've just seen what happened over the last 2 years in Palestine. Look at what our state did to handle our situation when Israel attacked us. 12 days in, and they're already throwing in the white flag or white and blue flag, whatever you want to call it. And when there was an opening, our government coordinated with the US in a theatrical tit-for-tat, and everyone took the off-ramp. Everyone took the exit from the escalation highway, leaving the region more likely to pursue peace. So the citizens of Iran, by and large, will be very favorable of the government for the outcome that it has come to. For better or worse, I'm giving you the information, you can decide what you do with it. If you're happy about it, if you're sad about it, etc., etc. But long story short, Operation Rising Lion led to the lion rising, the Persian lion. And now it's got a lot more diplomatic currency, it's got a lot more clout, more prestige on the world stage, and it set a blueprint for the global south that says the West operated in this reality, this world order, where there was one set of rules for the West and another set of rules for the rest. Here, I've cracked the code. You just need to show your strength. You just need to stand up to the bullies, and turns out they're glass cannons. They can dish out, but as soon as you force them to take, they're like, yeah, no, thanks. And they leave. So that's a blueprint now everyone has. Well, everyone had the theory. Iran put it into practice by force against its will because Israel imposed an attack upon them. So time will tell now, moving forward, how things turn out. And of course, I will report to you the news and the analysis, unbiased and without the Western spin. I thank you guys for your support, continued. I have no tea to drink, even though I wish I did. It's not particularly hot today. I've got a live at 5:30 today. I went on an impromptu live minutes after there was an announcement that the Qatari, the Al Udeid American airbase in Qatar was attacked by Iran. The live went really well. I couldn't answer everyone's questions, so I'm going to work on lives until I can sort of get into a flow where I can answer some questions and really give you guys some time. So see you there. And thanks again.